And we are live in 3, 2, 1.
By the way, we're live before that, just so you know. I was watching the podcast and I saw
it was fake live. Now we're live.
Huh? Now we're live? Okay.
Yeah.
What's up, Pack? Ask the Pack Leader show. I'm Steve Del Savio. We got here with Daniela today, who's in charge of our camp program. And we got Adam over there, as usual, behind the wheels of steel.
Yo. The Fernandezes joined the group.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, the Fernandezes. Yes.
A different last letter.
Last letter, yeah.
S for you.
Yes, because I'm Portuguese.
And Z for you.
And Z for me, because
That's
I'm
interesting.
Mexican.
Yeah, Portuguese.
But your family's Portuguese, yeah.
Yes.
And yours Mexican.
Mexican.
So interesting.
Yeah.
So why is it? Are the languages similar though? The Portuguese
Yeah.
and Spanish are pretty similar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she can understand me. I can't understand her as much.
Yeah.
It's funny how that works.
Portuguese,
Really?
Yeah.
So you can understand him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
you
I
can't
also
really understand
speak
Portuguese?
Spanish.
You also
but
do speak Spanish,
For a
right?
regular Portuguese speaker, we
Yeah.
understand Spanish a lot easier than a Spanish speaker would understand us.
Interesting.
'Cause
You
of
were
the-
even saying like with Yoa, like with the Puerto Ricans, sometimes they speak a little different like dialect of Spanish.
Every
Yes.
country has like Argentina and Spain and
Yeah.
like everybody
Oye,
has their
boludo.
own
Boludo. It's like all these
They're-
I'm like
different...
saying it's so
dialects.
interesting,
Yeah.
but yet like in America, you go to the South and I'm like, I don't know what you guys are saying, and they don't know
Yeah.
what the hell we're saying up here, you know? Or you go
Yeah.
to like certain areas.
That's true, yeah.
You know, in the
Yeah.
beginning, it's
Even
like,
in
wait, what?
English.
What was the thing I said yesterday? Like a drawer or something, and you were like, "Why are you putting
Drawer?
all these R's in there?" Like drawer.
He said drawing.
Oh,
Yeah,
drawing.
So I say
drawing.
like a drawing. That's a drawing.
That's a drawing, but then you said drawing.
So like
that
so
time.
from in LA they'll say a drawing.
Drawing, yeah.
Drawing.
Drawing.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Drawing.
How do you
Like
say it? Drawer still?
A drawer.
Drawer and a drawing.
Yeah.
A drawing.
Oh, drawing. Okay.
Drawing.
So that was your language lesson for no,
Wait,
clearly not a
language.
language lesson because I can't even fucking say it. But there's your language lesson for
Tongue twisters.
2021.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're continuing our little. I guess you would call it a series. We had Dave on. What was that? 2 weeks ago. Two weeks ago for the podcast. One of our trainers, Daniela, is here, trainer in the making and in charge of the adventure camp program.
Perfect time to look at the camera, too.
Yeah. You clipped it right to it.
Right to it.
Right on it. So we wanted to just bring some of the team members on to the show so everyone could see who we have working here, how people started working here, what we're doing different, how are things. Do we want to go right into these questions, or should we just do like an intro about her, like let her do a little intro on herself, or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like put me on the
Which
spot.
one's yeah?
Yeah,
I
who-
asked you a question.
who
said
are
yes
you?
to both.
Who am I? I'm a 26-year-old
Yeah.
female
Okay.
from New Jersey.
Is this your
Or
Match?
New
This is your
York.
Match.com
Sorry.
profile.
Nice. I like long walks on the beach.
You're taken right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So what? I'm just saying like
Are we gonna do the questions that you want to go
Yeah.
into? Because what is it? Isn't
Yeah.
one of the questions you want to ask like how'd you find us or
Yeah.
whatever?
Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah, we can go into that.
All right, so basically, let me say like we'll get into that part, but what we're trying to do, why don't we get into that? Why we were doing the camp and all
Yeah.
that kind of thing, right? So when we moved to the ranch, obviously we got this space, and I was like, we got to come up with a different form of caring for dogs. So I came up with like the line. I forget exactly what I'm going to use for it, but it's like daycare reinvented or like dog care reinvented kind of thing. Because as we know what dog care and all that stuff is right now, dogs just running wild, kind of no really dog psychology or training aspect to any of this stuff. So it's super important that what we wanted to do here was create a new experience for dogs for people during the day. So we always want to evolve and get better and fulfill dogs in a better way. So as everybody knows, I started dog walking. So that was like the first thing that I did. I learned how to handle a leash and work with a dog, and I saw the benefits of a walk. But I also saw the what I'm looking for. The downside of walking, which is like what's not available with walking. Because some of these high energy dogs that I would walk during the day, I'd be like, dude, this was like appetizers for this dog, and it would come home like, what's next? And I'm like, fuck, dude, I only got an hour for you. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I realized how many dogs need more, but not only for the high energy ones though. Even like dogs like Bentley who comes here, the pug. Who's like super
Bentel.
chill, and he just like wanders around. The dogs are running around the park. He's like la 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 la, but he just loves being in the park.
Yeah, but that energy is great to have in there.
in the park. Yeah, so he just loves being in nature. That's a dog who just enjoys like moseying around, smelling. Oh, what's
Yeah.
up? Who are the humans in here? This dog's finally laying down. I can actually come smell you now because that's my speed. So that's what we wanted to do is create something like that, and we're doing it right now, and it's going faster than we expected. We have that we put Daniela in a position there to start evolving the camp and what we can do better with it. We have a van that we're already trying to get more vans, and now there's like the Sprinter like shortage thing, so we're trying to get more of the Mercedes Sprinter vans and getting those upfitted. So we're in the process of expanding this right now. So that's basically what we're doing up here, and that's like the main thing that I'm leaning towards is doing more of this because dogs are going to need, like with everybody going, like it sounds like New York City's opening up again soon, right? Did they say that at the end of the month or something? September?
I think September.
Regardless, some in the next couple of months that they're opening back up.
Of course not during the summer.
Yeah,
of course
no.
not.
Why?
Why would they do that?
So they're going to, yeah, exactly.
I'm a New Yorker, by the way, so.
Yeah. Just in case anybody wanted to know.
Live in the city, so I have to deal with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, so that's the thing is that we're gonna have to I believe in it so much, and these are things that like pop in my head. I was like, all right, so we can do, like when I started, I was like, we can do dog walking better. Like yes, pack walking, but tons of structure. Like people are doing pack walks, but they're also kind of there were people in pack walking on Hoboken back in the day. Dogs everywhere with like 3, 4, 5, 6 dogs just pulling all over. So the structure to it, the waiting at thresholds and impulse control, all the shit that we were doing. Yeah, like this is what we're still doing. So that's what it is. It initially started with walking and how can we make walking better? Bentley. Then I heard what the dog training is. Yeah, Bentley's the dog over there on second to right. That's what we were just talking about. Here we have Dave, who was here last week. There's Daniela, and there's Jay, who's also on the team here. Yeah, so it was just a way of I was like, all right, we could do walking better. Then I heard what my clients were doing for dog training. I was like, no, don't do that. You could do this better. And then I started doing the dog training thing and giving them more of the dog psychology and understanding of a dog and understanding the way they see the world. Then I started hearing the, what was next? It was really next was boarding. Like I was like, where do you? They're like, hey, we have to go away. Do you do boarding? I was like, no, I'm just doing like the walking and training thing right now. Mm-hmm. And then they were telling me where they were sending these dogs, and I was like, this is what they do all day? And they were like, yeah, what do you think about it? I was like, I think it sucks, to be honest. Yeah. Like, so then I started caring for dogs, and then that was the boarding stuff where we're giving them like a full like enrichment kind of day, right? For exercise, obviously we're doing structure stuff. We're giving them affection at the right times, building relationship with these dogs.
It's like training without training.
Huh?
I feel like boarding, the dogs that come here for boarding also get like
trained.
You know, like
they're getting training. Yeah, but we don't like. That's the thing is like
it's like repetitions, but without like trying. Focus on it.
That's the thing is like sometimes people see like our rates and they see like we have a regular boarding rate and we have an advanced boarding rate. So sometimes people say, I want you guys to work on place with my dog, or a dog barking at the front door, or I want to teach them how to bike ride or treadmill or whatever the hell it is, right? Or better with dog or whatever. So that's one part of it, but they're like, just so you know, in our regular boarding rate, it's not just like what you're thinking of in the past, which is what most people are doing. Just stick them in a kennel all day, and then it's like charge for daycare, charge for the walk. It's most places don't even do walks, by the way, but charge for the dog to go into social, charge for a pet time and a nap time, and all these things. And all of a sudden you're added up, and you're like, I'm paying like $1 million for this dog to just sit in a kennel all day. This is ridiculous. Yeah. So for here, this is like what the dogs do when they like in the morning. This is one of the first things we do here is get the dogs out to the bathroom and get them working immediately. It's super important because they're up and they're ready to go. Think about kids like when they wake up in the morning. They want to just sit on the couch. That's what they tried to do in school with me. It didn't work out for them. Of like, oh, you just woke up and you're full of energy. Great. Now come sit in this seat and just
7 hours.
And just memorize like these things in this book. And I would be like literally my mind exploding in the seats. Like I have to do something here. And that's how I got in trouble all the time. Because I figured out ways to do it. Yeah. But yeah, this is it. Look at all the dogs. People want to talk about like women being empowered. Like, look at that fucking shit right there.
Yep.
3 women controlling 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm
5,
glad you
6,
touched
7,
on that,
8,
bro.
9, 10 dogs there.
Yeah, I'm glad you touched on that because
I think there's 9 or 10.
We have
11. There's a few behind you there.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have a lot of female clients, and I think it's important to also show that we have women over here handling shit.
Yeah.
Handling the dogs.
You know what I mean? Like, this is like...
Looking good doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You're welcome.
Commanding.
The 3 Ds.
Yes, commanding. Correct.
You know? And these are a bunch of... These are the Ridgewood dogs, right? A bunch of them?
Yeah,
Yes, except Finn.
Finn, yeah.
Yep.
Finn was the one who you guys saw when I did the chicken when he was a puppy.
Oh,
because he lives on the place with the chickens. And now he does awesome with the chickens and stuff.
But
these walks are happening. Bike rides are happening. The dog park obviously is happening. You guys get to see a bunch of that stuff. Do we have anything on the dog park here?
Oh, yeah, we do, actually. Let me see.
Oh, hell yeah. Look at that. Don't even start. Is this a video? Yeah, all right, well, you started.
No.
Look at that shit. So, like, that's what I was envisioning in my mind back in the day of like, I'm going to put a park in the middle of nature. And is that not it right there? That shit was in my mind. And then that got created in reality.
Yeah.
This is now a little bit more of like the people of believing and visualizing and attaching feeling to it. Because then I said to myself, it wasn't just visualizing that thing. You have to attach a feeling to it so the body can recognize it and pick
so
it
you
up.
can manifest.
Say, wait, what am I feeling right now? I have to pay attention to what I'm seeing. But the mind is creating something. That's the difference between humans and other animals, is that we can have an imagination, which can also take us in a fucked up way, of course, but it can also do these kind of things and create the Freedom Tower in New York and things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what the imagination can create. It can also create that level of depression, anxiety, and this.
You visualize that.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Real.
I'm
and
glad.
why? Because you know why? What I'm saying is people will think about some shit that makes them anxious, and then they'll become anxious about it, and the brain is practicing that anxiety every single time.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. This, when I looked at this thing, I said, how would it feel to be standing in there with a bunch of dogs? And I was like, it's going to feel amazing. And I would feel like, oh, God, it's going to be sick. And the body's like, what is this? And then fucking here you go. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had the vision, by the way, because like for me, I'm from California, so like something like Caesar's dog resort or dog ranch is more so what I imagine, but that's because I come from those areas.
That's California.
You're from here, so like the woods and everything is beautiful out here. So like you having the vision for that, I'm grateful for, because now seeing it, I'm like, I can easily see this now being our
like,
future.
The spring trees, right, with the light green and everything.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how like 3 weeks ago, if you
No
looked into
shade.
here, there's no green. There was
No
no green.
green.
Aside
No
from that,
shade.
aside from the turf, there's no green.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like within 3 weeks, it's vroom. And this is just the power of nature.
Right.
Yeah.
I was saying like how just to tell you about me, I was talking about how I went around and I was like spraying with the vinegar thing with the dandelions when they were starting to pop up. Like 2 weeks later, I looked out. I'm like, so where do these dandelions? They were like, they came out of like the Amazon jungle, like dandelions. I'm like, how did they grow that fast? How is it possible? And we were talking about how life wants to survive, life wants to win, and life wants to succeed, you know, and get through. So
I think we have to like really appreciate like we've been having crazy weather, but
you want to play it?
it's been
No, I'm gonna play it in a
okay,
second.
it's been like super hot certain days, and then it'll be like 30 degrees the next, and then it'll rain for 3 days, and then it'll be 80 degrees. And like we were trying to think about as a team collectively, like how are we going to put shade in the dog park for the summer? Like, do we get pools in there?
Yeah.
And then like literally 2 days later, the trees are like luscious and like there's shade everywhere. And we're like,
nature will
thank
provide.
you, nature.
Yeah.
For
because what do we have? It was like a couple days in April that it was like hot. It was
hot.
already like 82 or 83, and we were
It
like,
was.
shit, it's going to get pretty hot in in the middle of here because
the
the sun was
turf.
beating down.
Yeah.
But I was like, but I remember last summer there was a bunch of shade in here.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think
lot.
in the corner up there, there's
Yeah.
like that big beech tree that covers like that whole back corner. And then the sun comes like literally on this side. So it comes this way, and a lot of the trees over here block this area of it too. So
It's really only the center now that like
Yeah.
a smaller percentage is just like sun.
that's where I put Nico. I make him stand
Right there.
try him out. He's
Drain
in the
energy.
middle. Yeah.
One thing, so we'll play this in a second, but one thing I want you guys to notice too, even looking out, because it's behind us, this the dog park, how dark the trees are, how much water they absorb because of the rain. They're dark color, but that's water inside of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Very
They absorb it.
interesting.
Yeah, and it's been like we got a lot of rain this April for sure.
Yeah.
And it's still been really. Yesterday it rained, today it's raining. So I'm crossing my fingers that means that now winter will be less, but who the fuck knows out here? But
So we're gonna go back a little bit. I'm not gonna quite play that.
for those who don't know like what the weather is, like today it's gonna be like 60 something today.
Yeah.
But normal
Overcast.
weather for here, like mid-May, is around 60s, 70s usually. 50s some days. Like
June
if
it
it's
gets hotter?
The thing that's
Yeah.
different up here is also the wind. Like
Yeah.
I know
Oh, yeah.
Hoboken is by the water, but I feel like up here the winds are just like so
Yeah, the wind-
sporadic and
Yeah.
like
Some days
don't know.
it's like
It's-
tornado weather.
We're higher up here.
And then
Yeah.
other days it's like just still.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like what I like about this is like Northeast weather. I mean, this is what it
Right.
is to live in the Northeast.
yeah.
true.
And especially in nature, at an elevation, you're going to even like a higher degree of the Northeast.
It's
weather.
like rainforest essentially.
Yeah,
That's
it
what
really
feels
is.
like.
It's like
Yeah.
and it gets hot, and then it gets hot as hell here in the summer.
Muggy.
And,
Really hot.
listen, it's like there's not many places. I'm sure there are, but it doesn't seem like there are many places where you can have 3 feet of snow in the winter, 100
Literally.
and humid. You can't even go outside because the streets are so damn hot in the summer. Then you have fall, beautiful fall, and all this, and the spring. That's what I love about here. It's like, yes, we don't get to see the weather year round like California gets,
Right.
but I'll never forget the guy Neil, who I had way before you.
Yeah.
Right? I said to him, he goes, "God, am I sick of the sun?" And he's from LA, right? So he's
my
like,
God.
I'm like, really? He's like, dude, every single day you go outside, the sun is just beating down all days.
I wouldn't
Like,
say that.
everybody just like their situation just at some point is not.
Yeah. Yeah, they get used to it, and
Gets
it's
too.
that's a little bit of
repetitive.
the grass is always greener.
That's where I'm
Right.
at with it.
Yeah,
it was
too
just repetitive, and now
yeah. There's no variety.
and now I
Right.
appreciate the freaking sun.
Yeah.
When it's out, I'm like, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before it was like, yeah, the sun's there.
But think about that. So Tony Robbins talks about uncertainty, right? So how many people struggle with uncertainty, which is really variety, right? It's difference. Things changed, right? And the change gets out of our patterns and our habits. So we're like, I don't know. So a lot of times people come here in the beginning. It's like, fuck. I remember for you too. They're like, dude, you guys are looking at it. They're like, dude, this is ridiculous. This
Yeah.
cold. Like when it would be like December or January or some shit. And then the wind's whipping in Hoboken through the streets or in
Yeah.
Manhattan or something.
That was
Yeah.
before I moved here. When I moved here, I was like, I'm ready for this.
Yeah,
shit. I'm
yeah.
ready for the cold, and
Yeah.
I mentally
Yeah.
prepared myself for it.
So there's like part of it, which is like, I truly believe that the people here too are able to adjust to things way better because of like how quickly things can change. Like it could be 82 tomorrow,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
it's like cold and like 50 the next day. You're like,
Yeah.
what? So people do get sick here a lot, especially if you haven't lived here and gotten used to it. Plus
Right.
the pollen and all the things that change in the seasons and all this. So
Oh, I will never forget that day we went in the dog park and like the trees, all the pollen was on the floor and like my black sneakers were yellow.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right.
I'm
well,
like-
so crazy, dude.
that's good problems to have, by the way.
yeah.
Yeah. Like most dog
pollination.
places don't have that problem.
Right.
Because they don't have nature and shit there to do anything with.
It's also
you know?
the turf that gets staticky,
Yeah.
and there's friction on the turf that
Yeah.
will attract the pollen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it sticks to it.
Yeah. Really cool.
It's cool.
Oh shit. Okay, so we're into the questions. So, how did you get started working with dogs? Who do you want to go first?
I think we'll have Daniela go
Okay.
first, so we can get to know like how she got started in it.
I got started with dogs. If you want to go all the way back, I would dog sit my neighbor's dogs when I was younger, like 14, 15 years old.
All the way back, you're gonna go.
That's awesome.
Well, for my age, yeah.
She just got out of high school, and she's like, "I'm gonna go all the way back to the old
suck,
days."
dude.
To the old days. No, I was started.
that was 10 years ago for you, though, at least.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
10 years ago. Yeah.
of your neighbor's dog, yeah.
Yeah, my neighbor's dog.
That's cool.
And then
What kind of
after-
dog? With issues or easy dog?
No, easy dog. He was a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. Is that how
Yeah.
you say it? Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Just a
King
house
Cavalier Charles, I
dog.
don't
But
know.
I would just be in charge of walks and going over there if they weren't home and staying with them and the kids because I also nannied for the kids. So
Yeah.
it was just like
Nice.
a double thing. And then,
But were you going there like being like, I want to like learn about these dogs, or was just a dog there?
no, it was
That's
just
just
like
take
a
care
dog
of.
there
Yeah,
that I was
okay.
taking care of. But I think from a really early age, I always wanted to be a vet.
Yeah.
Kind of like Cassie.
Yeah, I
feel.
know.
That's cool.
And then I
Yeah.
realized like how much medical stuff it took, and I was like, maybe
Yeah.
I'll just work with dogs instead because I always had a passion for animals.
Yeah.
I grew up every summer. I think I'm not sure if I told you, but every summer when I was younger, I would go the entire summer to Portugal
Yeah.
because that's where my grandparents live, where my parents are from, and I would be on the farm.
I was gonna say
like,
there's a lot of
every
farms
day.
there. Farms there.
awesome.
right?
Every day
Yeah.
be on the
Forms.
farm
Forms,
with
yeah.
my
Legal
grandparents,
forms there.
you know, getting the vegetables and the fruits, and like they have hunting dogs, so the dogs are always around. So I think I've always been attracted to working with animals and
Yeah.
being outside. Like
Yeah.
that's just like where
cool.
I gravitate towards. So, but after that, I went to college at Monmouth University, and the Monmouth County SPCA is like literally like 2 miles down the road. So I started volunteering there.
It's awesome.
Working with a lot of pitties because
Yeah,
that's what you
that's
see
the rescue.
most of.
Yeah.
A lot of pitties, working on like handling them and
Yep.
how to like learn how to walk different types of dogs, how to approach them. After that, I volunteered with Husky House, which is in Matawan, and I was there.
These are all
for
New Jersey
about-
places for you
yes,
guys who
New
aren't local.
Jersey.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was there for about like two and a half years.
What are they? Rescue that just
They're
is primarily
rescue.
Huskies?
Primarily like Huskies and Shepherds. We do
Yeah.
take they do take like Yorkies and Poodles
Yeah.
and Danes and everything in
Yeah.
between, but specialize in like the Husky breed.
Yeah, if you live in the city, don't get a Husky. And
Don't.
Continue.
Please don't.
Even if you don't live in the city, really
lot-
Yeah,
consider your
that's so true,
options.
Yeah, like, and understand, like, are you able to fulfill that dog what
Yeah.
he needs, or she needs? It's going to be a lot. Usually, likely,
Yeah.
it may not be. I mean, not all huskies are the same, obviously, but
Yeah,
you're
no,
getting
no,
a
no.
husky that's like let's work.
You look at Apollo versus what I used to deal with at the shelter.
Yeah.
Or at the rescue, and like deal with biters every day, and
Yeah.
how to like handle that, and how to like approach them, and how
So
to.
probably a lot of frustrated dogs, non-fulfilled dogs.
95% of
That
them are
rescue should
frustrated.
all learn how to bike ride and teach dogs how to do like the mushing stuff.
Yep.
And when you were there, like what was your knowledge of dogs? Were you kind of like, yeah, this doesn't really seem right that these dogs are like
I
this?
mean,
or what?
I think you only know as much as
You know.
Yeah. And if you don't try to learn more, you're never going to learn more.
What was the saying that Neil deGrasse Tyson I saw recently? He said like, you don't know enough to know that you don't know enough.
There's different ways
Some
of
shit
saying
like that.
There's different ways of saying
Yeah.
that. You only know what you don't know. So like you know what you don't. There's different ways of saying
but
it.
he's saying in a way that
Yeah,
you don't,
semantics.
that like in your moment in that time that like some people may think that they really know dogs at that moment, but
Yeah.
they don't know enough about dogs to realize that they don't know enough
That
that
makes-
they don't know about the
Right.
dog.
I like
yet.
how you broke it down.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So it's really about awareness at that in that moment.
I
but-
think the more that I got into it with Husky House, like I started taking over the adoption events, setting up the events, setting up who's taking which dogs, what dogs to pair together in certain like facilities, or if we were outdoors, like what dogs do good outside with a lot of people. Like then you start really getting into, okay, like how is this dog in a variety of different environments,
Yeah.
not just with one person. How are they going to do with like potential adopters? We have to match the lifestyle that they're going to have, how much exercise they're going to get because they're huskies. Like it's not a very
all those dogs should be running before those events, by the way.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Or else you got to give them a chance to at least see like what they would actually be fulfilled. you
Yeah,
know?
and the
they
thing-
should be really making sure that like there should be a prerequisite like on their form that says I don't even know who they are, but
Yeah.
there should be a prerequisite on their form. Maybe there is. Do you know how to bike?
Yeah.
Like,
Remember
'cause
the
you need
girls
to bike
yesterday,
your
bro?
dogs. Wow.
Remember the girls yesterday?
Yeah, that's the video. If you guys are seeing, when did they see this?
The little Frenchie?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Oh. No.
Okay,
Yes,
so
yes.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, the Frenchie
You
with the
posted
two.
it.
we just
today?
posted it today.
Yeah.
You posted it
I
today?
posted it today.
Jeez,
Yeah, yeah.
dude.
See,
Right on
I'm
top of
on,
it.
I'm
This
on
guy.
it.
Come
But
on.
this guy, I give him a new video, and he's like posting that right away. Meanwhile, we have like 40 pieces of content.
Yeah.
He doesn't even. He just
I
likes the
post what I
exciting
feel like.
stuff. Yeah, you
Yeah.
like the exciting stuff.
Yeah. So,
So actually, I didn't know that you did.
yeah, that was the issue. So that's an issue that we were talking about of like the French who came yesterday. He was desperate for a bike ride, and he was going no joke like 13 miles an hour the whole way. He was flying. It was like literally like he was like Superman airborne running. And that's like the first thing I saw when I saw this dog come in. I'm like, he's frustrated. He needs to go run and do something. Forget about the training shit. And we did that with him, and he was flying.
This
Yeah.
guy, he can't even help himself.
But the issue is that the owners don't bike. So I
Yes.
found that out at the end of the session. And she's like, yeah, we were thinking about, but like, we're trying to figure out how we're going to do this at home because we don't know how to bike ride. And I'm like, and then the girl said, what about like if I got like a big trike? I'm like, yeah, you
that
can
would
do
be
that.
cool. Yeah.
We'll bring it here and we'll teach him how to do it with it. Look at this guy.
I played this for the first time with my volume like all the way up.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah. It's the Frenchie gremlin screaming.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. So believe it or not, he's actually not bad with dogs.
Not at all. And then you can see it with the next.
At all.
The after clip here.
Yeah, this was like
Chilling.
after this is the end after we just went for a walk and did a bunch and then I had her like now you walk away from the dogs this time instead of you chasing all the dogs away.
Really good.
The reality was for me is that he was so pent up that he couldn't
They were
contain
walking
himself. Look, we had to
6-7
take him out.
miles a day.
This was actually a little bit slower. He was going.
But they were in like a run with this first round because they were focused on
And this is
speed.
one where people will get crazy about the breeds, right? Where they're going to say, "Oh, well, that's a Frenchie," and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, I know. This guy's going to literally have a heart attack if we don't get him
Yeah.
exercised.
Yeah, for real.
He's desperate.
That's my man.
So I was going. This is where he decided, like, all right, I want to go a little bit slower right now.
No, we were
Yeah.
actually starting him out, so you were taking it slow for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were looking out for him, and then
You
open him
then
up.
here he
Yeah.
was like, I need to
Yeah,
go.
let's go.
Yes. So
I'm
you're like,
opening
all
it
right.
up, and I'm like, you've been dying for this, dude. Enjoy.
That's like low
Look at that
key knowledge that you also need to have, like when you're biking dogs, especially. When
Right by a
it-
dog. Right by a dog there, by the way.
The right opportunities to like go and like when to slow it down.
Yeah.
When
Yes.
to like, you need to know like the balance too.
Because this is also a dog like this kind of dog because he's so revved up. is like I could keep going with him, and this is a guy who would get heat exhaustion if I kept going.
That's what, yeah, that's what
because
especially because he hasn't done it.
Yeah, he's like so like I'm free. I've been dreaming of this day my whole life kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then you get into the bulldog persistence thing, and he'll just be like, I'll go forever.
Yeah.
So that's why I brought him back at this point, because I was like, all right, we're getting up to the threshold where he's getting
Right,
like whatever.
right.
And yesterday it was like 60. It was like 60 degrees.
Right,
It wasn't even
right.
like
Yeah,
that hot out or anything.
I like how you named
You'll
it.
even see in this video, I actually feel the floor. Those are other things too that you
Yeah.
guys have to recognize too. Of like I'm always feeling the floor to see like I don't know if I do it here.
Yeah, you did.
Because I saw him panting, right? So I'm like, I want to make sure that he's not standing on a hot floor here. Or sometimes people tell the dog to sit or down on they're not even feeling the floor. They're feeling that it's a frying pan.
As soon as he sat, you
Look at
started
this
being
guy.
like,
So people will see the breathing and they get all worked up and nervous. You know what I mean? And I'm like, this guy is not on the verge of heat exhaustion. Yes, he's breathing heavy. He's tired from
There
the
you
from
go.
the
Feeling the
ride
floor.
for sure.
Yep.
But you'll see when the owners come over, he like runs over. So
Right.
he should. Yeah. Did I touch the floor there? Yeah.
you did, yeah. You had done it.
And then I'm like, all right, so, and then he starts to go fast again. So that's why it's like, dude, you're not that tired, but like, just calm yourself. you
Yeah.
know?
I like how you named this shit, dude. Supercharged Silas.
Yeah. Yeah. That's his name.
That's
That's
good.
That was his
Silas
name.
was his name.
Yeah.
So right there, I used my foot as like a block.
Mm-hmm.
Not allowed to move in front of me there. Because this guy's thing, all he does is go in front.
Yeah.
He just keeps going in front and trying to go towards everyone.
So these are the girls that we're going to teach how to bike ride.
Yeah. I said, all right, so for your next session, we'll be teaching you how to bike ride.
Yeah.
Don't even bring the dog.
And I was like, oh my God.
But all kidding aside, look, this is what I'm going to give you. This is what I've learned over the years too, and this is actually all right. It's partially, without a doubt, from Caesar. It's mostly from Caesar, but also from the entrepreneurs that I've met and high performing people and stuff. Is they figure out the way. So their thing is like their mind got shut to a degree, and limiting belief was like, well, we can't bike.
So
So go take bike lessons.
right.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, maybe. But what about a trike? I'm like, now we're talking
Yes.
business. Now we can start figuring some shit out.
I like when she said that
Yeah.
part. Yeah.
How many people have limiting beliefs? Of like, well, I don't bike, so I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Well, you think you could learn how to bike? You think anybody on the planet has ever learned how to bike? Yeah. So I think you can do it too.
Yeah, and you have to have that same mentality for the dog, not just for yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, my dog's scared. He doesn't want to go down the steps. I had this happen with literally my neighbor that lives in front of me. She would always carry her dog down the stairs, and I was like, can I have the leash?
Yeah.
And I just like held pressure until he like went down the stairs.
Yeah.
She's like, how did you do that? I'm like, just hold the leash, hold the pressure until he decides to do it on his own, and then release and reward, you know?
Yeah.
Like, she was
Make sure
so
though,
in
in
her
those
mind
scenarios,
about-
you're talking about how you're feeling about it.
Right. She was so fearful. She's like, oh, he's scared. Like, he won't even go down the ones in the house. Like, he has
Yeah.
a thing with stairs. Well, maybe you have a thing with him going down the stairs.
Yeah,
maybe
that's what it
you
was.
think he's
Yeah.
going to get hurt or
Yeah.
he's going to, you know.
That's the key, and like, because a lot of times, like, that's why I'm saying I always tell the staff here. Always, you see, even in the middle of a fucking podcast, I have to be like, hey, make sure you tell. This is even a client. This is
Yeah.
like a friend in the bill or a neighbor, right? But I'm always reminding them to say, hey, so how are you feeling? That's like, this is what we don't ask enough. How are you feeling?
Yep.
I just feel like he's gonna da-da-da. So you're nervous.
Right.
Is that what you're feeling? Yes. Great. Now we're in agreement. Okay. So can I do this? And if you feel really nervous, I'd recommend you actually standing like over there.
Yeah.
Because that energy is going to be like a wall for him to come down. Mm-hmm. But the energy of like, yeah, you can do this. He's like, I can't. And then like, yeah, you can. He's like, okay, I can actually.
This is where
Yeah.
Daniela have to slow Steve down because he says some good shit. I'm like, hold on.
Okay.
Say that again, because I like what you said about
Yeah.
the energy of the person
Being like a wall?
fearful. Yeah,
Yeah.
being a wall, and you're literally preventing them from going
Yeah,
down.
you're bringing more of unstable energy there. Why would they want to go towards that? Like,
Right.
look,
So
when
true.
you're nervous about something, it's like, all right, we're gonna go skydiving. To just give you an extreme example, and you're nervous about it. Do you want to go with someone who is also terrified, or do you want to go with someone who thinks they know what the fuck they're doing?
Nah.
Yeah.
I had this
You know what I mean?
experience.
You did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's cool.
And you went with what? Someone who knew or didn't know?
No, we went with one person who is like an experienced skydiver he does it by himself.
That's extreme, by the way. Yeah.
and
go ahead.
It
then
is. He does it a lot.
I
Yeah,
gotta
that's
choose my
extreme.
words.
Yeah.
And then all of the rest of us had never done it before, but one of our group members was like really like nervous to do it, and he ended up doing it. And he was like, "That was the best."
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because it's the fear up to the point,
Right.
Yeah.
and then you do it, and you're like, wow, that was actually kind of awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like it's so liberating once you like pass that point where you don't think you could.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's limiting beliefs. That's literally the whole thing. Is that Tony Robbins' entire thing is about that. limiting beliefs. How people just and many of the development people and self-help, these people are all talking about limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
And those are beliefs that are not yours, by the way. They were created by somebody else. Mm-hmm. But we want to keep them as ours. No, that's me. That's me. That's me. Well, someone else created that for you. And if you really, how does that make you feel? To feel that you can't do that? And they're like, not good. So why are you having that thought?
Yeah.
Why don't you replace that with some good fucking thoughts?
I like when we come off of our
Audit your thoughts. We haven't talked about that in a while. Auditing your thoughts. So like a thought comes in of like, I don't know if I can. I don't like that one. Next. I think I could actually do this. I like that one. You can stay.
It is important for you to know where they came from, though.
Yeah.
So what I was going to say was that over
if
the
you
weekend,
can find out, if you can understand.
Over the weekend, we have training sessions, right? So it's cool to come off those training sessions and then come into the podcast because we have a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
The session again with the Frenchies, you actually asked the girls a pretty serious question. Do you remember what you asked them? Mm-mm. You asked them where does the limiting beliefs come from? So he's talking about limiting beliefs right now, and it reminded me you actually said that to the client.
Well, there was another thing too about where people live, right? In past, present, future. So that you saw that fucking Frenchie, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, squealing, going wild, and they're like literally in the worst place ever. They can't even take him. They're embarrassed to take him outside. This and that, right? Now the girl is walking the dog with a Great Dane around 8 other dogs, right? Around people, because the dog loses it with people too going by.
Yeah. And
she's saying now, he is still doing some pulling and he's still kind of ahead. And I said, okay, so hold on 1 second here.
This is hour one.
Yeah.
Because look, it's not about the dog in that moment. It's not even about the dog. The dog can do it.
Right.
So it's now we're working on the human, right? So I'm saying to her, I go, so out of all the things, I was like, where are you living in past, present, or future right now? She's like, the future. I said, okay. And based on what? She goes, the past. I go, okay. And right now, what's happening? I'm walking him with a Great Dane and around all these dogs. So does this feel good right now? Yes. So then why are you in the future? And she's like, because that's my habit. Thank you. Thank you for admitting that. That's your habit of being anxious about the future. Mm-hmm. So not believing it's going to happen. So I said, what if you switch it to it's going to happen every day? Like, just like we're going to get this ranch every day. It's going to happen. And then you don't put an expectation of time on it that's going to happen in this day, next day, whatever. You just say it's going to happen. I'm not sure how, but it will happen. And then you just live in the moment throughout the process. That's literally the answer to what it is.
Yeah.
But people don't know. It's just this information is not out there. Right. This information is not there. It's like, go on Prozac. You're better off. Okay. It's happening everywhere. I posted something the other day about, I should have, these things just come up in the stories about like, it was like, I don't know exactly what it was, but it was like, how do you rate like the best doctor or something? It's like the best doctors are the ones who get their clients off of medications, not the ones who put them on medications.
Yeah.
I was going to tell Steve, I was like, so what are you trying to say, Steve? You're a doctor now?
Yes, I am.
I was going to mess with you on that one.
But it's like I understand that medication's needed for certain things in life. Totally understand, right? But as like the thing of like, should we go this route of holistic or should we go this route of just like, to me, you're just like giving up. Like you surrender. You say, I'm just going to take this medication and let that do the work.
Yeah. I think you see that. I mean, I, for myself, have seen that a lot with the rescue world.
Yeah.
A lot of it's a high stress environment every day, all day.
Yeah.
So a lot of the dogs do go on like medication. And it's like hard because there's one dog in particular for myself.
Same for dogs, I write with big ass letters on the top.
Yeah. One dog for myself, his name's Blue. He's a husky. He's one of the dogs that I kind of like. He taught me a lot. He's still there, by the way, 2 years later.
Oh, shit.
Because he needs like a very experienced person as an owner and someone who's going to commit to like really working on his issues. And the first thing I did, like once I really started like trying to focus on his issues and not so much like the medication and like trying to keep him calm, was like put some roller skates on. And this was in the middle of the pandemic. I took him to an open parking lot and like skated around with him for like, I don't know,
That's what I used to do when I used to go to rescues to help shelter dogs. Every day I brought my rollerblades.
What a great tool that you could bring with you too. It's so small of a package.
Yeah.
You know? Does a lot for you.
Yeah, that gets me crazy too when I think about rescue, how rescues are fucking a lot of things up too, though.
Yeah, the thing with that is, I guess since I was in it, is like a lot of the rescues run predominantly on volunteers. And a lot of volunteers don't have the knowledge or even like the experience in like biking.
Not only the volunteers, the people who own the things and run the things and all that. That's what I'm going to talk about.
And I'm not bashing. I've been part of multiple rescues, but
don't worry, I got.
No, I'm not bashing them,
like
but
volunteers in general do it out of the kindness of their heart, but they don't know that like biking a dog is more beneficial than like, you know, whatever, throwing them in the yard and letting them play for an hour. Like,
there's true, yeah.
There's so much more that could be done, but there's just not a lot of experience on the volunteer end or training the volunteers in that way.
Yeah. And there's also, like what you're saying there, too. They're coming in, a lot of the volunteers. I'm doing this out of the kindness of my heart so I can do whatever I want kind of thing with these dogs, which a lot of times it's the kindness of your heart, yes. Also fulfilling some emotional void with these dogs, and human world screwed me up. I'm not talking about all people, by the way. But from what I've seen for the most part in these things is a lot of that. Is people this is what I said. I did a tweet today on this. I said, by the way, I have Twitter in case you guys want to know. Pack Leader Steve. What? I have like no followers on there because I never do shit on it. And I'm like, I'm going to start doing Twitter more. Because it's like, I like the Twitter for when I just get a thought in my mind. Because you know how sometimes I get the thought and I'm like, hey, write that. Or like, we should do a video on that. I know.
All the time.
All the time. And we should do a video on that. Or we should do this. But now I'm just going to use Twitter as my fucking notepad.
Yeah.
So if you want to get my random thoughts, I'm going to be doing way more of that, just so you guys know.
Heck yeah.
Of like just posting. And I put some funny GIFs with it too.
Nice.
Steve's been getting more into memes.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
He's killing it.
But that's the side of me, like that bringing out like the humor, fun side of me too, because like I want to, of course, I want to educate people, but I also want to have some entertainment and some fun with it too. So people are like,
and
this
be
is
able
like fun
to
as
relate.
hell. Yeah.
I feel like when it's too much structure sometimes in like how you're saying it, you need to like relate. You do really good analogies with clients of like. Kids or like sports or whatever. So I think
it's look. This is what that's a good point, and that's what I'm trying to get. I'm doing that with the clients, right? Which is like, how can I dumb this down and make this like obvious for you to understand? Where a lot of the trainers are they're coming in with an insecure way of trying to prove to this client that they know the words and know the theory and know the stuff,
the jargon,
And like, look, at the end of the day, the clients don't really care. They want the fucking help and they want the dog to be better.
And
that's
they
what they want.
Get it.
Yeah, they want to understand why they're doing it. What are they doing and why are they doing it? They want to understand that in a way that's clear to them. They're not scientists. They're not behaviorists. They're not psychologists. They want to know why it's so. I could sit there and say, oh, so put negative reinforcement to the moment, and then when you does this, you can add positive reinforcement because people are going to be, what?
Talking about the memes, bro.
Huh?
Talking about the memes.
Yeah.
So good.
Man.
Let's see this one. How do you deal with the closed-minded haters? Whoop. And I got the Thug Life song to that one too.
Yeah.
Like I find little ones like this, and then I'll be like, sometimes I can make them on my own, and then other times like that one I need Adam's help with.
That
like,
was great.
Put the name moving across and all that kind of shit. Yeah. What was I? Did we finish our points on all that stuff?
How I got started working with dogs.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say about
3 questions ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the what I was going to say about the rescue world is this is again not all right, but is a lot of that world is it starts with the people who are running these rescues. So a lot of them, like some of the ones that look, think about this, like there's been rescues over the years that I offered my help, right? And I'll be like, hey, I'll work with you guys free of charge and I'll just help you do this. And what do? They go, oh, sorry, we don't believe in your methods. They don't even know what the hell I do or what I'm doing, but they just see anything Pack, anything Leader, anything Caesar, and they just shut it down, right? Yeah. And meanwhile, what they actually are doing in the truth of reality by not bringing someone like me offering my services, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I just know my shit when it comes to dogs, and me going to a place like that and advising them and showing them things they could do. We're basically running here the most efficient shelter of all time.
Yeah.
You know, we have nature, we have dogs. Right now, I don't even know how many dogs. There's a shitload of dogs here, and there's no noise. They don't bark. They don't go crazy here. Of course, they whine and some things happen, but the dogs are fulfilled. And you come downstairs, like, how are all these dogs passed out in their kennels? Because they're tired and they're fulfilled. And we understand dog psychology. We understand the way they think, right?
Yeah.
But what they're doing is they're saying, like, the way that I've heard about from somewhere else that is the way you work with dogs or the way people like us work with dogs is it makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't even know what it is, but it just makes me feel uncomfortable, and others have told me it's not good, right?
Yeah.
So then they say we don't do those methods, we don't do this with it. So they're already closed off. They don't even want to know. And then what they don't realize what they're doing is they're killing dogs.
Yeah.
Because how many dogs are dying because people are saying no, excuse me, you don't tell our dogs no. What? Have you seen this dog? You have to tell him that he can't go crazy in this scenario, or he'll never get adopted.
Yeah.
You know, I did one where okay, this is years ago. I think I've told this story, but years and years ago, I said I want to start giving back. This is like when I was like getting better at this stuff, and I was like, I really have something here. I can do something with this. So I said, I'm going to go to this shelter. I'm going to just take this, go just every once in a while, take a dog and just work with it and just put it back. Right. So I go there. Who are your most challenging? Do you have any challenging? Oh, this dog is just so crazy when we take her out. And just, I remember the dog's name. I think the dog's name was Oreo. It was a black and white like Pity.
Ooh.
All right. I know. Comes out and was wild, like totally wild. So I said, can I can I rollerblade this dog? They were like looking at me like, what? I was like, yeah. I was like, this is what I do. I can do. Oh, yeah, okay. It was more loose back then. So I go, and I guess inside then at that point, the staff told the trainer, hey, this guy came to and he's like rollerblading the dog all around the area. So I come back with the dog. She's tired. I come and I ask her to sit. She didn't sit. So I just put a little pressure on the leash and just put the butt down. And the trainer's like looking at me. She goes, oh, excuse me. And I go, yeah. She's like, we don't force dogs to do anything in our shelter. Like all with attitude and shit. To someone like me who's coming and volunteering my time to help them with dogs, right?
Yeah, we get
so I said, I was like, I'm not forcing her. I'm just teaching her. I'm teaching her with this leash pressure to sit. And she's like, we don't do it that way. We only use food. I said, okay. And I handed the thing and I said, that was the last time I'm going there because I can't help these people. I can't help the dogs there.
Yeah.
And
like
why? Because the humans were the like
limiting the wall.
Yeah, the wall to get these dogs better.
Yep.
To the point where little did that shelter know that I was willing to start donating treadmills. I was going to start donating my time, teaching them how they can get a program going and teaching dogs how to do treadmill, teaching them how to bike dogs, rollerblade dogs, all that kind of stuff. That would be a real shelter. I mean, and then understand, hey, see the way this dog, I would have taught them all that stuff. But emotional world blocked them from that and is going to now get more dogs killed and all that stuff. So my point is with all this shelter and all this is why, like, in the grand scheme of things, I'm like, let's go back to the beginning and start with prevention. We got to get this prevention thing going to stop dogs from ending up there. Because she's talking about the husky of like how much shit you have to do to rehabilitate this dog to even potentially get it adopted, which then is likely a management case to the average person, you know? So how can we prevent that from happening?
With a bite history, like a severe bite history, only certain handlers.
And by the way, people always ask me these things. Like, what about an adult dog? Can they be rehabilitated and all that? Yes, but to a degree.
Yeah.
Like once these dogs have been, picture a human who's been through like a ton of traumas. Can they be rehabilitated? Yes, but to a certain degree, right?
Yeah.
It's very different than a child that was born and then just lived like a fulfilling, challenging, positive life.
Yeah.
But or a kid or a person who've been through a shitload of traumas, yes, you have to go back and recover all that, which takes time. And then you have to work on the stuff in the future. And there's only, where stuff gets imprinted in the brain. So that stuff, like a big trauma, that's why it's like people have these events, going back to the visualization for humans of like, think about that time where whatever that trauma was. And they think about it and they start crying. They think about it, they start shaking or having an anxiety attack kind of thing. It's not even happening in real life, but the mind is even just thinking about it and it starts.
I was going to make that point that it's not even just going through or getting over the trauma for the dog, it's getting over the trauma for the human.
Yeah.
That had the dog during that time. So they have to go through their stuff too to be able to fulfill that.
It's one of the most untalked about things is the people of the rescue world. And look, I love the rescue world. We work with tons of rescues. We give tons of information to rescues. We do free classes for rescues. We work with tons of rescue dogs. I've taken 3 of my dogs are rescue dogs. So I've worked with them, but the people have to be better. Just like, look, I'm not talking, again, the people in the dog world have to be better as far as I'm concerned. Yes. The trainers need to be better. When I see, and I get a little bit like fired up about this topic, when I see like the courses being sold and people instructing and this is what you should do. And I'm like, you're like 5 years old and you're instructing me about dogs. You shouldn't be giving instruction. Instead, I would be documenting my journey on how to become a dog trainer, on my journey to learn dog psychology. Yeah. That would be the right way to do it. But being super young and then giving advice, as far as I'm concerned, is like when you see like no offense, like a 26-year-old life coach.
She's 26.
Like I wouldn't even listen to a 38-year-old life coach.
Yeah.
What do you know about life, really?
Yeah.
Look. But there might be things that they do know, right? But I'm just saying, like, how could someone be 25 and be a life coach?
Right.
I can teach you on the first 25 years of life.
Yeah.
It's like you lived at home with your parents till 18, at least, we know, right? And then you're going to give me the advice in the 7 years you've been on your own?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's what I'm saying with this stuff. Like, people, I think, need to be better about
However,
Yes.
I do think that sometimes age is not a factor
In what?
in terms of certain scenarios. Like, I, for example, am way more knowledgeable, in my opinion, than certain people that run the rescue that I was a part of.
Yeah.
And I feel like the structure and like different things that could be implemented, even though there's people there that have been running it for 10 plus years, just bringing
that's not
those
apples to-
beliefs,
I know what you're saying.
you know?
That's more apples to orange. That's more like, yes, totally younger people can have like ideas and things. We have them here. We do our meetings, and like some of the youngest come up with the best ideas, right?
Right.
So it happens. But I'm saying more of like, I'm going to teach you about the overall picture, like being a dog trainer. I'm going to teach you all about dogs. And I'm like, do you know about dogs, my friend? Because
Which they might. It's just
Yeah.
like the amount of experience and information. It's not so much there. It's like what they say, because I agree with what you're
I
saying.
agree with both.
Yeah, I agree with both as well.
Yeah.
See both.
I agree with
honestly.
both, because we can also learn from kids too.
Yeah.
Remember how who says that? Like Caesar. So many people have said that we can learn
yeah.
from kids. Like they are.
Well, because they're living in the present and
yeah,
being their truest
exactly.
selves.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
that's where I was going with that.
where my point is more of the dangers of not knowing that, like what I said in the beginning.
Yes.
Of not even realizing that you don't know enough to be advising people on dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Because the wrong and misinformation, which has fucking flooded the dog industry,
Yep.
is some of the most dangerous shit there is. Like these people who are telling people that like don't ever tell your dog no and just use food. That's extremely dangerous.
Would you do
behavior.
that to your kid? Like,
Some they're trying it.
Yeah, they
Wait.
are.
In 2021, they're definitely trying it.
They
Doesn't look
definitely
good
are.
for America, but
Aye.
whatever. Yeah, that's really it. Let's go to the next. What do we got? Okay, what makes our? Oh, did I answer I've answered how I got involved with dogs before, so we don't have to go there.
Yeah, for sure.
people know.
Yeah.
Okay, what makes our adventure camp different from other dog daycares?
everything.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. Well, first of all, did you see it? Did you see
What's
the
that?
park?
Oh yeah. Let's.
Yeah.
So as we talk about the adventure camp and why it's different, I mean that's a really good
just
thing
play
to
that
just
shit.
visualize and see. It's like how different.
When we do this part right here, this is after. Not all of them, but this is for like this group here. I know this group, and this is some of like the dogs with a little more energy. These guys have already got worked all day.
Yeah.
And then they finish kind of their day with this stuff.
Yeah.
Of a social thing.
Maui.
Yeah.
For the most part, that is
Oh, yeah, we
how
didn't
we
play this
structure
video.
it.
No, we haven't played it.
Look at Ravioli. Look
He's like that.
By the way, Piper, that doodle was like a little feisty girl at the beginning with the other dogs, and now she's great. You'll see me in here. Okay, look, this is what I'm saying. Like, look at what we're doing. Like, what the team is doing with the dogs here. How engaged and active they are, and what we're always on top of things and working with them and doing stuff. You know. So you'll see one of them. I'm on my phone in here, but I was fucking live. I was doing an Instagram live show,
There's a reason
explaining
for
to
it.
people what
Yeah.
we were
We're
doing
on
in
the
park.
phone in the park taking pictures
That's
and
a good
videos
point.
for clients
Right.
too. So it's
Yeah.
not like we're on the phone, checking Instagram.
I wouldn't say there's excessive phone
Look at
usage,
Bentley, by the way.
which is good. Yeah,
I was
right
talking
there.
about Bentley. He's just with me. Look.
The homie.
It's like moseying
So he's
around.
like,
Yep.
look, this is what I'm saying. All the dogs doing this. Bentley just does his own thing.
I love this perspective though. To be able to see it from the sky is like
Yeah.
a different. Look at that. Look how beautiful it looks back.
These
there.
are a lot of these. So a lot of these dogs here, where, look right here, I'm working with Andy. That was. Can you go back a little bit to that, or is that gonna fuck everything up?
I might be able to here.
Look, I'm Penny Bentley, of course, and Maui there. I love those guys.
It might be a little slower.
Maui and Bentley are the more like, I just want to be in the park and chill and have a good time.
This is something that in regular daycares, in my opinion, you won't see a Great Dane and a Yorkie
Right.
in the same.
Right.
It's
Like-
all about energy, right?
Yeah.
So I would never put, if Darling was high energy and was like
Which
rambunctious
she
and running
was.
around.
She
in the
was.
beginning, but now she's not.
Yeah.
So I would never put her in there with small dogs because just the injury factor.
Right.
It's too much. Dog could get trampled, right?
Would you want to go back to
He
yeah,
was
play it
talking
from here.
about.
from here?
He was talking about Andy addressing. Andy.
I want to show like what happened in here. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
I think it was right after this.
Okay. So then,
Darling.
If you can, will you
What
be
a
able to stop
horse.
it or no?
boom. Stop.
Not yet.
Play. Pause.
Right
Play.
Keep going.
there.
Pause. Play.
Keep going a little bit. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Look. So now stop right there. So there's Daniela right there
Yep.
in action. There's me coming in. And look, Dave's gonna come in from the, what do they call it, like the flank?
He's
From
gonna
the-
flank. Yeah.
So what we're actually gonna do here? Let me just face this way so they can. Hear
Can
me.
they see that angle? Like
Yeah.
where we are with Andy?
So look, the park is gonna.
Yeah,
go
they can
this
see
way,
it.
right? to this corner. So we're coming in and we're using the space to our advantage, right? So I'm trying to get where Danielle is going to come this way. I'm going to come from the straight, and Dave will end up coming from here. And we're going to end up sending her back to here. So she doesn't have an easier ability to just go into flight. So what had happened here was she was playing with Ravioli. The two of them love playing like it's UFC sparring sessions, as always.
Ravioli likes it, too.
Yeah.
They like it. They enjoy it. So I do let them do it a little bit between each other. But Andy, she's young, and she's a little firecracker, and she decides that she wants to grab Ravioli and start being, let's do this play. So hey, and in the live, I did it, and then she stops. She pauses. She stopped the mouthing thing, and then she's like, all right, I'm just gonna go fuck off now and have a good time.
She tries to run away.
You have to go back all the way to 0 now. So that's where we're following through here. This is the follow through part, and this could take, if it takes 5-10 minutes, I don't care. We have to follow through with that dog. So we're going to address her here. Look, so she's moving away. She's thinking about, where can I get away? So now, look, I'm using the space. So
look how the dogs work, though. Too.
I was
they're
say
following.
that too.
Yeah.
With the energy that happens, it's like, they're all almost helping to adjust
Look,
there.
so Dave can see what's happening. That we got him to so obviously it changes there, but we got her to
like
a
right
spot where we could settle her.
Yeah.
And we said, and all I'm asking for there is stop moving, settle down, and then you can go.
And not like quick.
Yeah.
Like slow down. Use your, like for us at least, like to use our body language to kind of.
Well, it's energy,
them.
body language, right?
Yeah.
So the energy is coming in. Look, there they go again.
Yeah.
See? That's that two of them, right? Look at that shit. So that's going to all eventually be green. I'm going to remove some of the trees so we have more space to actually do shit in here. Like, that's the funny thing is, like, when you were saying about Caesar's place and this place, is like Caesar's is planting trees there. We're like, we need more trees here.
Yeah.
We're like, dude,
we should
take
just
some of
swap.
these.
Yeah.
I know.
We
We just
should
get
swap.
We're gonna send you some
and just send them out to Caesar in
Yeah.
LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would actually
take like
be
500 of these trees.
that would
please,
actually be pretty
you know?
cool.
Yeah. But I like
That's
the
awesome.
thing is, like, these trees won't survive with that shit out there. It's different climates.
No,
Yeah.
it wouldn't.
Honestly,
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
very
we're gonna
dry.
remove some of them just because we need space to do stuff here. You know, eventually we'll expand like more land and stuff too. But that's the plan. But yeah, that's a little part of the dog park.
Yeah.
Overall difference on the.
How is it different?
Yeah.
It's
That right there.
Yeah, it's
that right there because
structured.
people don't do that.
and not structured. I feel like a lot of people hear the word structure and they get like a little
Yeah.
like
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 they're like-
I'm sending my dog to daycare.
Yeah.
I
Right.
don't
I want them
it
to have
be, like,
fun.
Structure. I want
Yeah.
them to have fun. Like they do have fun after having a pack walk, after doing maybe some treadmill or place or Bosu ball or rollerblading or like a little agility we did the other day because it was raining outside. So we did like a little agility inside.
Treadmill
like,
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
And then they get to have like
But remember
some
that's-
time in the park.
Yeah,
Right.
and people sometimes think like dog structure is not fun, but that is fun. Like how much fun do you think that Frenchie was having in that video?
Yeah.
He was in heaven in that video.
Oh, you
So-
get some of the dogs on the bikes, and they're just like, "Oh my god, I get
Yeah.
to open up right now."
It's a good one, actually.
Yeah, for real.
Andy. Remember you saw me coming back?
Oh yeah, she loves it.
Oh,
But yeah, people focus on like they think that the dog in excitement is having fun. So they see like a dog in the warehouse or see the dog wherever, and they think the dog is having fun. Yeah, look at how much fun he's having. I just want him to have fun. And I'm like, yeah, but believe it or not, they're going to have overall way more fun when they're clear of what they need to be doing and they're not anxious doing the same shit all day long, and we're challenging them and opening up their mind. These dogs are passed the hell out in the van on the way home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a library. It's a library when we pick them up in the morning, which is the most remarkable
I
thing.
was going to mention that. I think it starts with how the dogs are brought into camp. I feel like I used to take my dog to daycare, and I would take him like, okay, I got to be at work in half an hour, so I'm going to like drop him off real quick and then go to work.
Yeah.
And I'm not like taking him on a walk prior. I'm not like fulfilling him at all before when he's going to play all day. So for us, I think we go get the dog from the house, which is already different.
Yeah.
And we go already like calm, assertive.
Yeah, that's how
and
it
we bring
starts.
them into
Yeah.
the van calmly, and they have to like practice calmness
That's
in
it,
the
yeah.
van before they even get here.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, because to me, just like the dog walk starts the moment you think about going for a walk and start
Yeah.
walking towards where the leash is. To me, like the daycare or the camp, adventure camp starts the moment that we enter the place.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
That's
we,
true.
we make contact with the dog.
The other thing, I was playing this video here too. It's like this is what dogs want to do.
Oh,
By the
let me
way,
say one other thing.
they want to move together. They want
Yeah,
to migrate
they wanna
together.
migrate.
they want to do this. So
this is what we're practicing. We're practicing migration. That's what the walk really is practicing a migration. They would the pack would get together and say, all right, we've ate, we've done our thing, we stayed here for a while, now let's migrate to the next location. So
Yeah.
we're mimicking that and fulfilling an instinctual need by doing that. I don't think many people know that.
And
Right.
putting different energies together, like a higher and a lower energy
Yeah.
together, so that they
Look
kind
at
of
the
balance
dogs.
each other
Yeah.
out.
This isn't all Goldens, all Doodles, and there are some in there. And this is what different breeds, but similar energies that are together, right? Like I'm not going to put Nico with a group of Bentley and Maui. You know, like that's not the correct compatibility. That being said, Nico is amazing for a dog like Maui. Because I can control Nico. So if I
Yeah.
couldn't control Nico, it'd be too much.
And he allows Maui to like experience a little more.
Like lay down and smell
Yeah.
like a really confident dog. And he's like, and Maui's like, can I? And like he does it, and I'm like, good job, Maui. So you're building confidence with
Yeah.
them too. So that's another thing about the camp is we don't just like putting him in there and just being like, we're just caring for your dog for
I'll
the day.
watch from the camera, or I'll watch from outside
Right.
behind the
That
wall,
happens, by the way.
or like in
Just
the corner.
cameras.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what they do. They just put a camera. Look at how much fun your dog's having
Yeah.
in this box, and it's like easy when you're selling them that running around in a box is fun.
Yeah.
And it might be fun for a little short amount of time for the dog because they get to like play with other dogs, but it gets boring fast. I've seen them. I went
Yeah.
to the places, you know, I think I talked about this once too. I started going around to the places when I was like, we're going to go the daycare route. We got to go we got to care for dogs. We got to give a better option for this. So I started just like I always do of like studying things. Let's study what people are doing. So I started going around to the places. It was hard for me to do it. Number one, people
To see it.
recognized me. That was
Yeah.
first. So they were like, what is this guy doing here? What is he up to? So that was the part where I was like, fuck, I got to be more incognito when I'm doing this. But I would go in and honestly, I would look in these rooms. I was like, so what are the dogs like? Work? Some, not all people knew who I was, but then I would go to so what are they like? What do they do for the day? It's like, oh, they play and da, 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 and I'm like, where? And they're like, over here. And I looked through like the little glass window. It was a room about the size of this that had probably like 30 dogs in it that are just running around back and forth with one very young girl in it. There's pee and poop on the floors and stuff and wasn't being picked up, and the dog's just running in circles. And it honestly made me feel first a little bit frustrated and a little bit down.
Yeah.
Because I felt for the dogs there. But I said, I'm going to use this shit as fuel to create like a whole new thing, a whole new way of caring for dogs. And we're doing it.
Yeah.
It's in progress. And by the way, this is just the beginning of what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
I have so much shit in my mind of what it's going to do. It's going to be like, people are going to be like, what the hell do you do with these dogs in a day? If you think this is cool now, oh my God. And I'll also mention that we're getting pretty full on that thing already. I'm not trying to like sell this thing because I'd like rather not have more people come in, to be honest, right now, because we're trying to keep up.
We got a lot.
And we got to get these like vans made and stuff like that.
we got a good problem here.
It's a good problem, but
Yeah.
like there's eventually going to be a wait list that's going to have to be. So
Yeah,
if you're
for
looking
sure.
to get your dog, if you're in the New Jersey area, if you're in Hoboken,
I would hop
Ridgewood,
on it now.
or even in the area, anywhere around here, we're going to have options for different
yeah.
locations.
Well,
People could drop dogs here potentially.
Right, Bubba and
Yeah.
Finn.
Yeah. Certain dogs we allow them to come and people drop the dogs and pick them up at the end of the day if they're not in our pickup locations yet.
Right.
If you're watching this and you're considering dog camp, do it. Hop on it now because we're gonna have a wait list.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, it's just that's not one where we're like tooting our horns. It's just I see what's happening.
No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
I see
happening.
what it is, and in my mind, I was like, I look again. I even underestimated it because I was like, when should we start this? I'm like, and it was like a few months ago, right? And I'm like,
Started in like September, October. Is
it was
that
even
right?
later than that, I think.
I think
Whatever,
it was-
but whatever it was, I was
Close
just
to
like,
there. It was like October.
I was
November.
like, I don't know. I was like, I think this is a little too soon, to be honest. Like, I don't think people are really going back to work and there's going to be a service. But I was like, I think it could be good for some of the dogs, like, even that the dogs are with the people staying at home because they can get the
Yeah.
experience of getting out of the city, become in nature, get fulfilled for the day, and go back with your human at home. And even the detachment because of the corona dogs of like people
Right.
being so in
Yeah, yeah,
contact
yeah.
with the dogs.
That's a big one.
So, but then I underestimated it. People were like, all right, yeah. At first it would be like 5 dogs, 6 dogs, and then it's like 20 dogs. Holy shit! There's a lot of people want this service, you know.
Yeah.
And then everyone's looking at us like, what is this van? What are people doing here? Like, what is this that's happening?
Discreet, no logo. We just show
and I'll
up
put it
and
at
leave.
zero. That's what I'm
Exactly.
saying. Okay, like people, like you know how many people have said to me, you know, you should put some stuff on the van to advertise. Like, I don't want more
We
dogs right
can,
now.
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
I mean, I do pickups and drop-offs, and people ask me all the time as I'm going in and out of buildings, like, what do you guys do? And I have to tell them, obviously, get the word out, but
okay, so that's also why you guys might see me like flooding social media sometimes with like we need help of more like employees and
Yeah.
stuff because I'm being proactive yes, the team here handles what we have here, no problem. But I know where this is going. And I know what we're going to need, which is why I'm like looking for more handlers and people to come in who want to learn. Whether you want to be a dog trainer, you want to just handle dogs, it's social media, it's a driver, it's administrative, it's whatever. We're developing something big here. So there's going to be a lot of things to move into in this business. So I always tell people that too. And that's look, should I give my little spiel a little bit here about like about employment and things like that?
How much time we got?
Yeah, how much time do we got?
Look, I'll just say this.
Give us a short version.
For the people who are looking to join companies and things like that. And this is from talking with a lot of, I don't know how we want to call it, but like the Gary Vaynerchuk-esque people, right? And they talk about how people don't understand. We actually talked about this, how people focus on numbers, right? So they want to grow. Humans want to grow. They want to get better and they want to grow. Like that's what people want. They want progress, right? Then they get to a point where it's like, but they start viewing like, I need this number, meaning like, what's the pay? What's the thing? But that should be like, actually, in my opinion, like way less of the factor as opposed to like, what is the thing that I'm doing? Do I actually enjoy it? Because then we started talking about it, right? I said, well, what does it cost for your happiness? Because the reason is we've had some people comment, it's to a degree, like for me, I'm like, what? And we actually talked about it. We're like, why wouldn't this person, like, okay, same basically pay, right? They verbalized that they don't like their place. There's nowhere to go. And they say, yeah, I'm just still not going to do it. Because it might be a few dollars less, let's just say. About the same pay, I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So they're saying there's no opportunity, there's no room for growth. So if life's about the growth and progress, wouldn't you want to go into somewhere that, because she's not even going to, that person is not even going to progress with money or career in that position. But right now in this, so isn't it interesting to me that in these type of moments, all of a sudden humans live in the moment. Well, what's happening right now?
Yeah.
Right? But then they don't play a long game of like, what's this going to look like in 30 years? What's it going to look like in 20 years? Well, we know the potential of one, and we can see the potential of the other. Maybe the people didn't believe in it, or they don't, like, I don't know about this dog thing or whatever it is, but to me, it's like so obvious. And I think that if you are watching this and you're interested in doing something, you're like, figure out first of what makes you happy. Meaning, what are things that you like? Because you only get one chance on this fucking planet. What would you rather do? You love baseball, let's just say, like me, right?
Yeah.
Love baseball. Do you want to do something that revolves around baseball where you'll make maybe 60, 70% of what you would have made on being in some financial company sitting at a cubicle that you don't really like, but you made 25% more money over your life? Because at the end of the day, you're going to be on your deathbed, right? It's happened. That's my favorite of Gary V's things, by the way. Gary, can you give me... This is Gary Vaynerchuk. Look up Gary... Is he Gary V?
It's Gary V.
Gary V on Instagram.
Can you give me 3 words of advice?
Give me 3 words of advice that can motivate me or get me to da-da-da. He goes...
You're going to die.
So good.
And then she started
So true, too.
She goes, oh my God.
That
She
was
goes,
the
fuck, I
best.
love you.
Yeah,
And he goes,
fuck,
I love you too. And then she just walks away.
Yeah.
I mean, that is think about that. You're going to die.
Yeah.
Well, I lived my whole life and I never got to scratch that itch of the thing I really loved. Yeah, but you made some extra dollars that you can't take with you into the afterlife, by the way.
Yeah.
So how did that work out?
I think that kind of
I
like...
can relate to a lot.
I was
to
just
that.
going to say that you could probably relate to that,
Like
too.
I was trying to scratch the itch with like helping and volunteering
Yeah.
and doing all that stuff. And then
But there was no money
I
there.
just need more though.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I want more.
Yeah.
And I left a really good position working for my family
Right.
where I had a lot of flexibility with like time, money, and all that stuff. And came here about almost a year ago and
Yeah.
been here ever since.
And that's my story too.
Yeah.
Same, working with family, learned a lot about business. What was income potential was very high. But I was like, I don't think I want to do this for my life.
I definitely didn't want to sit at a desk all day.
Right.
That's not for me.
And listen, by the
like I
way,
said, I'm used to
some
being
people are.
outside with like animal. Like I
Yeah.
just
Some people
that's-
are though. Some people
That's
are.
fine.
That's fine for them, yeah.
For me, it's not.
There's
for
the
me.
Bentleys of the world, by the way.
Yeah.
Right? The Bentley who
Yeah.
comes here, the Bentleys
True.
who want to just be like, I'm not into all this running and all this business creation and all this thing. I'm not into that. I just want to just do this. There's nothing wrong with that either. I'm just saying that make sure that you actually are doing something that you like.
Right.
The issue becomes is when people want to put their own shit onto others, meaning like, well, I want this house and I want
Okay,
this car
yeah.
and I want this thing. So Daniela, you should want the same fucking thing. It's like, no, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I actually want to be
don't-
happy
yeah.
working with animals.
I don't need like a big mansion to feel like happy and content. I can have a small little cottage with a big yard filled with animals and
Yeah.
I'll be good.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Or get both.
Or both.
But you know
know?
what? By you doing that part, you're gonna get both because you're saying like, I'm not focused on that, and that
Yeah.
money will come to you. And because your happiness is going to exude that, and you're going to be able to receive, you're going to manifest good shit coming to you if you're happy doing what
Always,
what you want.
yeah, and you're always assessing and evaluating who's the person giving you advice. That's not, look, I'm not saying to judge people, but I'm saying to assess and evaluate, like, where are they in life? What have they been doing? And you'll find, number one, that the advice they're giving is very similar to what they are doing. That's just what you guys were just talking about, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm also saying, like, I can't tell you how many people over the years who would tell me, man, you work way too much. They tell me and Cassie, you guys work too much. Like, you guys got to do other things and, like, stop working so much. And we're like, you don't get it.
It's not really work.
I'm not working.
I mean,
This
it
what
is, but it's
look,
not.
Yeah.
Look, and fucking Gary again had another great line where he was saying like some people like to ski, some people like dogs, some people like whatever. He goes, I like business. This is what I like to do. I like making my business. This is what I like to do. I don't want to go skiing. Maybe you love skiing, person, whoever you are. That's not what I love. I love doing this. It's just the same type of thing. I'm scratching the itch of building a business. That's what I love doing.
Right.
I like that stuff too. That's why I think we've been able to do a bunch of this stuff because I really enjoy like the building of things.
Yeah.
Which is whether that's building a business, building a dog up, building a person up, like anything, building a building, like whatever. It just to me is like, what is that growth too, right?
Yeah.
That is one thing I do appreciate about being here, working with everybody, is that we're all going towards what we actually want to be doing.
Yeah.
And the people that thought that before, they're not here anymore, but we're starting to attract the right people that are like, I really want to either do the dog thing, I either want to do media, whatever it is, but we're really happy.
Yeah, that's
do it
one
together.
big shift that I made, by the way, in hiring and stuff, is I used to say, what's the best that we can get just to fulfill something right now? And now I'm like, nah, I'm not going down that route.
We just had a conversation about that.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm not going down that route because we've tried that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really end up working. You end up wasting more time because you're training somebody, then they end up not really being the thing, and then they leave, and then it costs a lot of money. Like, people don't realize how much it costs to remove employees. Like, yes, people save money, but you also are losing things there, and you have to train more people. It costs a lot of money to do that.
It's
stuff.
the
Training
investment,
costs a lot.
the investment of time into the person.
And not only that, it puts a lot more on the rest of the company.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not just letting someone go. It's putting a lot more responsibility on everybody else. And that's something I told you the other day. It was like, thank you for putting me in the position of camp. Because like, I'm doing a lot more of like the biking and the being outside with the dogs and learning a lot more hands-on.
Yeah.
And not only that, like just setting things up, talking to clients, seeing how they like how things are going. Or with Andy's parents, for example, like, what would you like us to work on? Do you want her to like learn how to bike ride? Do you want,
Right.
That is where I thrive.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
cool.
we're in.
You needed a little bit more of a challenge too.
Yeah.
I feel like, because I don't think everybody has different personalities, right? But like, I feel like somebody like Daniela wouldn't be just content doing just dog walking and that was her only role. It's like,
No.
I wanted more.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you're doing the camp now.
Same
too.
thing with the rescue. Like I was going there, spending almost all of my free time there trying to help the dogs and trying to get these dogs, and it just wasn't enough. Like, it wasn't fulfilling enough.
Yeah.
Like, it's
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to do things in rescue, like to rehabilitate dogs there. It's not easy.
yeah.
Okay, so how do I get my dog involved at the Maddie Ranch? I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to put on the camp thing. Oh, finishing my employment thing, that's really what I would just tell people is like doing something that you want to do. You don't have to be a business owner, by the way. That's not for everybody. That's its own fucking thing. That's what I tell people. Like, it happens a lot where people are like, great, I feel good about like this skill that I have. Now I'm going to go become a business owner. I'm like, that's a whole new thing, just so you know. Now you just started to be, you're self-employed now.
Make sure you want it.
Yeah, like, do you want
Make
to
sure
be a
you
business
know
owner?
how to
Just know
fail.
it's different.
Make sure you know how to fail.
Yeah.
And be okay with it.
It's a different thing. You know what I mean? And I love the business side of it, but it is difficult. I'll tell you, it's not easy. And there's a reason we always talk about like I say, like, I don't want to be the 1 out of 20 businesses that survive 10 years.
Yeah.
That just survive. I want to be the 1 out of a million, I guess, that
Thrive.
is successful
Yeah.
and thrives and does well. And that is no easy freaking task. There are so many moving parts to change. You want to, it's to me one of the ultimate games ever created. Business. It's like Monopoly on steroids.
Yeah.
Like
It fulfills your competitive nature for sure.
that's it.
Yeah.
We were talking about this. That's for me.
Yeah,
That's your persona.
So look,
because he's a
Your
sports guy, but you can't play
fulfillment.
sports forever, bro.
That's
like
right. So when I,
you know
so
what I'm saying?
this is a good point, because when I put, just to show that side. So my father was competitive growing up. He taught us how to be competitive for sure. And when I played sports, I was very competitive. Like whether it was soccer, I was the worst at, and I was like crazy person on the soccer field playing defense, right? Hockey, I always played the physical game of like we are like, yeah, you might score a goal, but you're gonna get punished for scoring that goal, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, and then baseball, I was like ultra competitive. Like that's what I loved about being a pitcher, was me versus that fucking guy in the thing. Let's go, me versus you, dude. So that I think was one that like when my baseball career was over, that I didn't recognize that I missed that like competition stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like so then I started bringing that like more like I guess like extreme mentality to partying. So I was like, I'll compete with. I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
How many people go? How you went out? What days? 3 days? I'll go out 4 or 5 days a week.
How much did you drink?
Yeah.
I'll
How
beat
much
you.
you drink? I'll be drinking more than you. More shots than you. More like you know.
Which it makes sense that you went into business, because we were talking about how with business that you can actually calculate it. There's numbers there involved.
It can be measured.
It can be measured, right?
Yeah.
Which is what you were saying.
Yep.
Yeah. So it makes sense.
What gets accomplished gets measured. Is another good one. Mm-hmm. So are you measuring too? What's your growth? What have you done? What are you doing about it?
Yeah.
And this is another thing too, is measuring your minutes. That's another Gary Vee one. But let me see your minutes, he says, right? Because people say, I don't have time to walk my dog. Really? Let's get the minutes on the table. Let's see. What did you do? What about these 62 minutes that you watched YouTube and watched the 90 Day Fiance? Could you have walked the dog during that time? Fuck yeah, I could have. What about this time where you were just chatting with your friend about utter bullshit? That could
Or
have been on the
do that
phone
while you're walking your dog.
Yeah, you can if you have to.
If you're a woman, you can multitask.
Yeah, we can.
Listen.
One thing at a time. One thing at a time.
I'll
Yeah,
be
no.
listening to the podcast while walking my dog
Exactly.
and just getting things done.
Answering emails.
Yeah. So anyway, to finish the employment thing, I'm just saying to look at the big picture. Look long term. What is it that you really want to be doing? That should be question one, not how much is the money question one. Because what was the thing I sent you, dude? I sent you something about like then the money follows thing. Remember? It was like people chase the money, but I forget. It was something like that. But
Yeah.
that was a lesson that Caesar taught me
That's a good one.
right from the get-go. Was do what you want to do what you love, and figure out that you'll see the money's going to come follow you. If you're providing something of service, you know, that's what there was another one that the person said, like, what do? I really want to, I want to start a business, but I don't know like what to start the business of. And to me, that's not like the correct way to do it. To me, it's
What do you like?
Like number one, what do you like? What are things that you like, right? Number two is this. Let me see this industry or this thing. Let's just say it's like a pizza shop. I don't know. You go to pizza shops and you love pizza, and you say like, but they could be doing this so much more efficiently. They could be. I could solve a lot of problems if I did this. That's what I'm doing here. That's what we're doing. Is I'm solving the dog care. I'm trying to solve a dog care issue. I'm trying to solve a dog training issue, you know, and I love dogs and I love building business. So it's perfect for me, right?
Yeah.
But seeing something like that, I can make this better. And then that's a great option to go. Then you just double, triple, quadruple down on learning about pizza and business.
Yep.
That's it. It's the whole game. And by the way, you might do that for 5-10 years and it fails. Then you go to the next thing.
I like that you're kind of like not harping on it, but you're really driving this point.
Yeah.
Is because for you could also say like, well, we just need dog people. I don't care what the fuck you like. Just come and work for us and do this dog thing.
No, because then it's like if
They won't fit
they're
in the culture.
sloppy and they have their own like views of how things should be done, and then they come here and they're like, "Whoa!"
And like how
That's
much
like
does I
a
get paid for
culture
that?
shock to how
Yeah.
much like structure we do, and then we got to retrain
Yeah.
everything, all those bad habits out. I mean, same thing with the dogs. Technically, it's like
Right.
Yeah.
you know.
The same
Similar shit. Yeah.
No, it's a real big one. I'm harping on it because I think so many people are in positions. If I asked you, if you were sitting right here and I said, "Do you love what you're doing?"
Yes.
Nice. Good answer.
Good answer. But yeah, if I asked somebody else who was sitting, if you're sitting in that seat, would you say that you love what you're doing, or you like just give me that you like it, you really like it? Because I can tell you that we've talked with a few people who were like, they said, I definitely would like this better, but the money over here, right?
Right.
And I'm like, so you're
So tricky.
I get it.
That's fine. Let them.
And then
go
they'll
for
start
it.
talking
Yeah.
about like, then it's like, well, my money and my bills. I'm like, well, where can we reduce that stuff then?
Yeah.
And then that's where I said the comment to you, how much does your happiness cost?
Yeah.
You know, let's just say it's a job where someone's going to offer you $100 less a week. Is that worth it? Would you pay $100 bill to live the life you want a week?
Yeah.
And by the way, you may end up getting paid in the future compared to the other for doing a job that you're happy in. So it's like, am I willing to make a sacrifice and make a payment, be taxed to do an occupation that I love in the beginning? And ideally, I'm gonna just immerse myself in this shit to make myself actually get paid more than I ever would in the other thing that I hated. Because I know for a fact you'll never get paid like the same. I shouldn't say never, because there are people who get bullshit jobs that get paid ridiculous amounts of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like the outliers.
But then there's just still unhappy though.
Apples
too.
to apples, yeah, you're comparing apples to apples. If you're doing something that you either love or doing something that you don't love, yeah, this might start out higher, but you'll make more over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe that.
If you're solving a problem, by the way, it has to be that whole occupation is solving a problem.
Yeah.
But that, because you're not going to be so worried about that part. You're going to be, I'm going and I'm going to get it, and it just all of a sudden comes. Make yourself chase excellence. Don't chase money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Chase growth. Don't chase money. The money's going to follow you. I did it both. Look, I don't talk about shit that I haven't experienced or done. Right? I'm just saying that I used to chase money, and it got me no money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It got me money that I would spend and be done with, right?
Yeah.
And it also got me unhappiness. And then I got happiness, and then all of a sudden, I put that post the other day where I was making $8 a fucking day, right? And then $40 a week. But that went up over time, and now I'm make more than I ever did in the other places.
Yeah.
So that's the part. It's good for you guys.
Good.
It means a lot because I just know, I'm trying to share my experiences of doing it both ways. And the hardest part is in the beginning.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know? Because it's like, fuck, this is because why you're getting hit with so much discomfort, uncertainty of can I do it? And I believe
Not even from yourself, from other people, from your family. Like my transition here, I had to hear that from my family and friends. Like, really? Like you're going from where you are now to
I'm glad you brought that up because that was something I was going to ask you about before, but because you and I talked about it on a walk one day. But yeah, everybody's trying to tell you what you should be doing or what you should want in life.
No, not even what would be better for your life.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's how do you know what's better for my life?
Yeah,
This is my life.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's yes, I could be getting to, let's say, getting a mansion in 5 years, working with a company where I get paid a lot more, or it'll take me 10, 15 years, but I'll be not dreading going to work every day through those 10, 15 years. Like you said, it's the long game. It's not...
Yep.
It's part of our generation, the immediate gratification.
Yeah, and by the way, and many of you are probably watching the people on Instagram and YouTube and all that shit. You see the influencers and all that. The difference is that I work with a lot of them.
Yeah.
So this is definitely not all of them, but I've met many, and these are people who you would be shocked. I'm not in the business of saying that what you're seeing is not who that person is. But I would never single anybody out with that, and I easily could with some of them. But
yeah, the ones that are really happy though, they're not really promoting anything of I got this stuff, I got this going on for me.
Yeah,
because there are successful people that are happy, but those are the ones that are probably the quietest. They don't say shit because they're just busy getting it.
Yeah, because they're in their own life.
Look, I see some of them that I've worked with, and I'm like, wow, this person is not who they are. And then they're posting on the thing, and to the world, they're fooling the world, but in reality, they're fooling themselves because I know the truth. I'm like, you don't give a shit about your dog. That was our whole issue with working with you. You don't give a shit. You don't do anything with the dogs. But then if you go on the Instagram of some of these people,
it's all their dogs. It's
the dogs are so lucky to have me, and I'm the best, and the dogs are amazing, and oh my god, I love my puppies. And then they're like, all right, so
anyway,
what else is going on with my brand, or whatever.
I'm gonna keep you guys on
task.
Yeah,
okay,
well,
so
do something that makes you happy, that you like, and chase that.
Yeah.
Don't chase the money. That's what I'm saying. Everybody wants to grow. Progress is the whole thing. But focus on acquiring skills, acquiring knowledge, experience, immersing yourself in shit, and the money will follow. I promise you guys it will.
And do it how Gary
And
Vee says.
if it doesn't, then find another place.
Do it how Gary Vee says. Eat shit for a while too.
Eat shit
because
and that's what I'm saying. Most people are look, a funnel of finance is there's money that comes in, the money goes out, right? So people are always I shouldn't say always, usually are focused on that money coming in.
Yeah.
But what's the money going out, and what are you using it for?
Right.
What are you investing? Are you doing something to leverage your money to make more with it? You know what I mean? Or are you just spending it just to spend it? Because there's two sides to the whole thing.
Yeah.
For me, I'm always I believe it or not am focused way more on the front, because I've learned the lesson of like, all right, let's like, if you're going to use the money, use it in a calculated way that can like bring more. That comes back with friends.
Right.
So me putting in a dog park, it's going to come in with friends, because more people are going to want to use the dog park. Using the pool, the service gets better. That means more friends come back. We're going to make more money with it, right? And again, it's not about really the money. It's just that the money is the utility to continue growing the business and growing and living the, giving the experience that we really want here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Definitely.
How do I get my dog involved in the Maddie Ranch Adventure Camp? You want me to do that one to start?
Yeah. I mean, they have to go through you first.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So for the
That's
most
the
part,
answer
I
to
would
the
say
question.
basically everybody has to do training with us, because for the most part, most people don't know dog psychology, don't have their dogs in the proper state in all areas to be able to join the camp. Because we keep that camp as like more of an elite type camp. Like the dogs have to understand like a certain level. Like this is like you're in you got into your doctorate program. Like you had to already. You have your high school. You have to go to college. You got your master's, and then you go to the doctorate program. Like, is that the order? I don't know. Whatever. But something like that.
I didn't go to school.
Yeah,
I didn't go to college.
Yeah, so that's really what it is. And the dogs have to be a certain way, because look, one bad egg in the thing, meaning not that it's a bad dog, but one dog that's misbehaving and wild and anxious and mouthy and this can bring the whole entire group down. Just like in a company, in a family, a group of friends. Like one who's like, screw this like thing you guys are doing. Let's just go get cocktails. Like, no, dude, we're not doing that shit here.
Yeah.
Like, go to that other. Go to I was gonna say something. Go to some other daycare for that shit. You know.
I think
Try not
that
to do
the
that.
biggest thing is they need like a solid foundation of like knowing the basic stuff that we do with them every day
Yeah.
before adding like the camp aspect to it, which is like more of like the dog parks, what people like to see more of. But they have to know how to walk in a pack.
Yeah.
They have to know how to not like
walk on a leash, period.
Or on a leash, period, and then a pack. Then
Walk well on a leash.
Right. Like
By
not
the
be
way.
pulling, not throwing everybody
Calm,
off,
loose
not
leash,
barking
yeah.
if we walk past other dogs or humans.
Yeah.
Like they need that first in order to be like accepted into the rest
Yeah.
of the fun stuff.
Yeah,
Well, I
no
mean, that
aggression.
is fun.
This is
That
private
is
school,
fun,
guys.
Yeah,
This is
it
private
really
school.
is.
You have to be accepted here.
It is. This
Yeah.
is really what.
Well,
it is.
we're held to a higher standard.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And I'm trying not to make
For
it
sure.
just for the private school for just rich people.
Yeah.
That's what we're
No.
trying our best to do. And I'm
Yeah.
keeping the price that I charge, and if you compare, so I do an all in price, and maybe it's not the best business move to do it because people may not understand how much shit the dog gets here, but they see it because we're giving these people updates throughout the day on our app of what their dogs are doing here.
so much more than what they give you at like where I sent Oakley. Like they didn't send me pictures or videos
Yeah.
or updates. It's like
Well, we had
drop him off, pick him up.
Yeah.
Oh, he played really nicely today.
Yeah. Or here's a picture of him like hiding in the corner, and he was just sleeping. It's like,
Yeah.
he seems unhappy there, but whatever. Fuck, where was I going with that one? I don't know.
I cut you off.
It's good
sorry.
to have
This just is getting in my mind. I had too much coffee again.
it's good to have people from different places be here and see like, oh, where I would take my dog, they wouldn't do this. So like
Yeah.
it makes you actually,
Oh,
Daniela,
that's
do
what
a
you
little
said.
do a little bit more.
So we had it where
Yeah.
like one of the clients was like, for boarding, they were like, wow, because we charge $99 a day. I'll give you guys the price. It's $100 basically a day for boarding, right? And they're like, well, the other place locally, this is, again, guys, we're in New York City area. So if you're listening to this in like Missouri or something, or I don't know, like North Dakota, it might be a little bit cheaper there.
Yeah,
But this is just the way it is here. It also costs a fortune to live here too. So
Yes.
that's why everything is, you could charge less money there, but the living expenses are so much less there, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the price is that I'm like, okay, so you see that price, right? They're like, yeah, the local place is 65 or 70, whatever. Okay, add in, are they walking the dog? Oh shit, they don't do that. All right, well your dog gets 2 to 3 walks a day here, so add in
Minimum.
2 to 3 at $15 that they're or $20 that they're
Minimum.
charging you. So now you're at 120, right? Or what? Let's just say 100.
Don't let him
now.
start breaking this down. By the way, he's gonna be like, damn, we're charging too little.
I
Actually,
know. That's what I
Feel
say.
like, well, now after this podcast,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and reevaluate
Yeah. Right,
how
yeah.
I do this.
exactly.
And then it's like, well, who are the handlers that are actually working with your dogs? Are any of them trainers, or any of them have experience working with dogs?
All
Or
of
any
the
them-
above.
Yeah, right. So Then they're like, no. Okay, what about if you want affection time for your dog? It's a $15 charge. If you want to have your dog have raw food, $5 per meal, because that costs more because you have to store the raw. And sure enough,
that's another thing.
You add them up, and you're at, for what we do here, you're over $200 a day.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's just our regular thing.
I think people don't like, they're like, oh, I'll drop my dog off and send his food and he'll whatever. It's like, do you know how meticulous we are with like feeding, how feeding goes?
Oh, yeah.
If the dog is too excited with feeding, we have to sit there for 10, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour.
It's really a ton of the unknowns.
Yeah, there's a lot of things
happening.
that go on behind the scenes that like
Which
people
we need to
don't
document
understand.
a little bit more so that people do
and
understand.
not to mention the craziest out of all the things, and they probably are like this fucking guy with the cleaning schedule.
Oh,
How
cleaning
the
is
schedule, because this is the thing for me, and I'm like crazy with the cleaning and stuff. When I went to these other places, and they would show like, okay, and I had Cassie go around and fake like go and like to go for employment and stuff. And she would tell me, she goes, Steve, these places. She goes, first of all, they smell like piss. They smell like wet dog. And then I went to the feeding areas. There's flies buzzing all over. The bags are just open. There's shit on the floors and stuff. And this is the stuff that nobody sees behind the scenes. So it's easy for them to fool the public. Look at how beautiful my front little office is. And then you go in the back and it looks like a shithole. You know what I mean? And it's like, they're not even, they just fling the food to the dogs, and they just, they don't even change the water bowls. Like every day the water bowls change, this changed, the washing schedule.
The amount of protocols.
My water bill here is out of the fucking, it's like, for the amount of cleaning that we're doing here, it's like, God, we need to get like another freaking service of water to this building.
We need to get a well.
I know.
A well out there or something.
But anyway, that stuff, it's a lot of this stuff that adds up. And this is, I don't want to get into a whole salesy thing, but I want to educate people of what it is. Because like, this is what is going out there, to look for these things. Because not everybody's going to use our camp. Like how many people who actually follow us, watch us, can actually live in the area and bring them to camp? Not that many, right?
Yeah.
So I want the people who aren't here to be, these are the things looking for. What do you do? And how many walks a day do you do with my dog? And what's the training that you give your staff members here? Are any of them dog trainers? Are any of them knowledgeable with dogs? Where do the dogs sleep? And what happens if the dog is barking in their kennel? What do you do? They do nothing, by the way, just so you know. They do nothing. They just leave it. During feedings, if my dog's too excited for feeding, do you wait until it's calm? No, we just fling it underneath the thing and just give it to them. That's what's going on for real. I know the shit. I've been there. I've seen it all.
Yeah. I mean, so have I. I did rescue, so I know what it is going in the morning and having like 15 kennels full of
pee and poop and barking.
And
chaos.
I walk in here and I'm like, oh, not
hey
a
guys.
single bark.
The dogs are like, oh.
Good morning. I'll walk in.
What are we
Good
doing
morning,
today,
guys.
Daniela? Yeah, I know. That's the best. That's what
Daniela gets them all riled up and shit coming in.
Yeah, imagine.
But that's the biggest thing that I'm moving towards in this business, by the way, is just continuing to double, triple, quadruple. We're gonna like really go big with this thing for sure, because it's needed. It's desperate. It was the idea Caesar had. We got to put dog psychology centers all around, and I'm like, yes, and we also need the care ability for people too. So dog psychology, to teach them about dogs and animals, yes. And I'm like, but we also need to give people like the ability to care for the dogs, because the care options suck. A lot of them.
You were calling it the maintenance.
Maintenance.
Yeah, it's maintenance. It's like, you did your, like when people get in shape, it's like you're like, this is your nutrition and your workout schedule to get to a certain point, and then you're in maintenance mode, which is like, this is what your calorie count, this is your workouts, this is what you're doing to maintain. You can't just go back to the other way.
Yeah.
You can't just go like, you have to have a maintenance schedule. So that's what we're doing. It's like going to school. The dogs are going to school.
Yeah.
So they do what it is, but it's like the most fun fucking school you can go to. It's not school sitting in a classroom, those places in a box, and it's just recess all day in a little box. Here we're like teaching them, like if it was humans, we're teaching them finances. We're teaching them like how to buy how to get a mortgage. We're teaching them like, this is how you make your resumes for your job career. You know what I mean? Like we're teaching them all like the high income, high performance skills that are needed for life here. You know? I mean, the biggest thing that people want is a dog who's calm, who follows. And that's all we're doing is nurturing. People say, look, think about this. Which dog would you want? You see a German Shepherd, and the guy's going, heel, stay, downs, and the dog's doing all that stuff, and then he sits down, and the dog's staring at him, whining his face off, and someone comes too close, and the dog lunges at the person, and all that. Or you see another person, German Shepherd, walking, and the dog's off leash, just calmly following the person. Which dog do you want? And then you go sit down on the bench, and you go down, and the dog just relaxes and lays down. That's what people really want. They want a calm follower dog. They don't want some highly trained, like, machine dog.
Yeah, but they also have to put in that's the thing is you still have to put in the effort and the time,
Of course.
to get that.
Yeah.
But we will help you along the way.
Yeah. That's doing dog training before dog psychology. You have to have that prerequisite before you do dog training. Just like I'm saying, calm, confident, love, joy before money, power, fame. You can have both. There's nothing wrong with money, power, fame. But just make sure you have this first part. And when I was talking about some of the influencers and people that I've worked with over the years, this is just some of them are went to money, power, fame world, but forgot about calm, confident, love, joy. So they're stressed, they're insecure, they're angry, hateful, and they're not having fun in life. They're just doing it to do it. And those are people who are chasing money, by the way, a lot of them. And chasing fame or power. That's what they are. They want more of that. They believe the growth there is going to lead them to happiness, but it's a never-ending game.
Yeah.
And they keep getting more famous, and they keep getting more followers, and it's never enough.
And then a pandemic hits, and you are shit out of luck, and then what do you do when you don't have the money coming in?
Yep. And look, the thing about that, too, is that that's a scenario where they have a lot of yes people around, too. Look, again, this might sound like I'm bashing that world and stuff like that. I work with tons of celebrities, tons of influencers, and for the most part, they're great. They're great to work with. I'm just talking about I've seen the extreme wealth. I've seen the extreme power. I've seen the extreme fame. I've seen these people, and a lot of them are great, but some are unhappy because they're missing the calm, confident, love, joy thing, and when they have all these people around them who are telling them how great they are all the time, it's not real. It's not truth. So they have people lying to them. They're lying to themselves. So how can you be happy if you're lying to yourself? Like, I couldn't imagine taking like videos and pictures of Nico and telling the world how much I love them and knowing the truth. If I'm standing in front of the mirror, just looking at myself in the mirror, it's like, you don't do shit with your dog, dude.
Yeah.
You're fucking lying to all these people in the name of the dollar and the fucking follower count. Come on. Get off your ass and go take your dog for a walk. You brought that dog into your life.
Yeah.
This goes for all people, by the way. You brought that dog in. He didn't make the selection. You did. As much as you want to think that he selected me and all that, yeah, no, he didn't.
Yeah.
You chose him and said, I'm bringing you into my life, and you have no choice to leave. So they don't have a choice to leave, and they barely make any mistakes, so the humans get rid of them. Meanwhile, the humans make mistakes the whole time they have the dog, and no one punishes them for that.
Yeah.
So, whatever. That's my little thing for dogs there. Anything
Are we
else?
on track? Do we have questions? Are we done?
On track. Well, I wanted to keep you guys on a good schedule here, so I think that this is a good place to wrap it up.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That was good.
Thank you so much for coming.
Of
Yeah.
course. Thank you for
Talking-
having
Yeah,
me.
so
Talking about
Daniela
Adventure
was
Camp.
on the live
Yes.
2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
So we're gonna keep doing this. We're gonna keep bringing people on, and from the team here, the Pack Leader Experience is on the way. I know we've been saying that forever, but it literally is on the way.
Yeah.
What else?
I just want to say
Tell us.
this coming here, like we always talk about, like getting comfortable being uncomfortable. This
Yeah.
is not like
Easy.
the most comfortable or easy for me. I was even saying it downstairs with the girls before, like I'm nervous, and I like had coffee, and I'm just like sweating, and
It's like me when you film me.
and then
the
I'm
first time.
like
Yeah.
here, and I'm just breathing, and I mean I'm not 100% comfortable, but I'm definitely more so than I thought I would be.
You're definitely like, thank God it's over. But
No. I mean, I feel like that was that like an hour?
an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk
Crushed
too
it.
much.
It goes, yeah. It's a new thing. Like I talked about it. Like looking at that thing, it's like you're just not used to looking at a camera.
I
having
very
the attention on you.
rarely have been looking, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like that's because like you're thinking like, wow, there's people in there like watching me and judging me.
Well,
assessing
2
me
weeks
and all
ago
that.
was live, and I was like,
Oh, shit.
Should I answer?
On the
Should I
spot.
not? Like,
That's
You
the other
definitely
thing
should.
too is why like to look at too of how many people are doing produced videos of like their dogs working with their dogs, but like not many go on live with their dog. If
Yeah.
you notice that, take
Dude,
a
you
look.
went out live in the dog park.
Huh?
Yeah.
You went live in the dog park.
And I'm addressing dogs, and then I'm showing people the real shit because I think that's important.
Yeah.
And I believe in my skills to do it. And if someone wants to talk shit, I'd be like, all right, come here. Let's see what you got.
People loved it too.
You
Yeah.
know? And I think it's
Eat it
really
up.
important to show all that stuff, like the real shit of what goes on, and be authentic about it, because to show what you
Telling
can do.
Yeah.
Like to me, like everyone's like, this goes back to before what I'm saying, that people charging for the courses and this and that. And I know them. I know some people like this, right? I don't know all of them, but I know a bunch. And I'm like, yeah, but I've seen you with your own dog. and you're advising people on dogs and charging them for it, maybe just talk about it or what they would listen. For me, what they would be doing the best thing is sharing their journey on how they're getting their dog to balance.
Yep.
And this is where my dog came from, and this is what I'm doing with them, and this and that, da, da, da. But again, they're chasing the dollar, and to me, it's an unethical way to be advising people when you don't really know yourself. But sometimes they don't even realize they don't even know. That's like goes back to the beginning. You don't even know enough to know you don't know enough.
Yeah.
You know? So someone like me, a lot of times will watch these videos, and I buy them. I told you, I buy them up. I'm like, let's see your best stuff. Let's see what you're charging the public for. Because I'm on your guys' team with this shit. I'm telling you, I just want to have you all here and enjoy this place and send your dog here so I can have fun with your dog during the day. You know what I mean? That's what we want to do here, and get people using the dogs to understand about Mother Nature and understanding about energy, which will in turn make people better. I talk about to all my clients, like, how often will you be standing at the front door calmly waiting for your dog to set? Like, would you ever be calm in front of the door? You just open the door and go.
Yeah.
You know? Staying there and waiting, you're practicing patience, you're practicing following through, you're practicing your calmness. Like, all those little things indirectly are helping people, which is why we focus so much on dog psychology, because indirectly it helps people. What you have to be as a leader for a dog makes you a highly efficient, balanced human being.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
And it makes you want to be around those people more often.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the whole deal.
Good shit.
Good shit.
Yeah, good
Awesome
shit.
one. I love having these. So are we going to do next week another one, or what? Another person from the team, or something different, or what?
We can. I was going to alternate of like having a person on, answering some questions from you. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think the Pack Leader experience should be happening within the next 2 weeks. Just waiting on our guest to schedule.
Goal is, by the way, to have this is the model. We're trying to create the model here at the ranch, the Maddie Ranch. But the goal is to have places like this in multiple locations globally, by the way. So you never know. All of a sudden, you may see in the future one day, hey, what's up, Holland? We're looking for somebody to join our Maddie Ranch team and put our Maddie Ranch in, what are the places?
I'll go to
Where would I
Portugal.
go there?
Boom.
Yeah, Portugal.
PLD.
Or wherever.
Yes.
I don't know where it's going to be, but start now learning dog psychology. Because it's going to happen. I'm telling you, mark my words. It's going to, whatever date this is, you'll see. Hey guys, and then we'll cut back to this clip.
Yeah.
We'll remember this one.
Yeah.
This is the second location. It's going to be likely the next locations will be in the U.S. to start. But then we want to go global for sure. Because dogs is a universe. I could go anywhere in the world and influence dogs right now. So that's what's so cool about dog and animals. Once you understand energy and the species and the way that they think, you can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Because I'm communicating through energy, not communicating through just words and English. Like, look, I can't even go to certain countries right now and communicate with people.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I beg to differ. I think that because of the dog thing, learning about animals, calmness, and everything,
My
you're
point is
probably
this.
able to.
My point is
influence.
this: I can much more easily go to Japan and go work with a dog than understand the people that are like talking to me and trying to converse with me.
Correct.
Well,
Or
when
do
you
something with me.
when you bring the dogs,
I can understand who the person is.
when you bring the dogs into the situation, though, you will be able to teach them
of
without
course,
explaining to them in English.
Yeah.
You just show them.
Just show.
you still
Yeah,
need
just
like
show
the
them.
Yeah, you can show.
Sometimes you need. Yeah.
The let me
it's
make this
both.
clear. The purpose that I'm saying, the point of this, what I'm saying is if
He
right
thinks I'm
now,
disagreeing with them. I'm not.
No,
I'm,
no,
not,
no,
I'm
I get
adding.
what you're
I'm
saying.
adding
I know what
to.
you're saying. I'm saying just so they're clear about what the point is that
I think we
right
got the
now,
point.
if I went and I walked into Tokyo, because we use Japan, right? And there's a guy there and a dog there. Who can I communicate better with from the beginning? The dog.
The dog.
I know, but you're not understanding my point.
What?
My point is that by you communicating with the dogs and being able to do that, you can actually start to communicate with people that don't speak your language.
Of course, yeah.
That was
Yeah,
the
yeah,
point.
yeah. Yeah, I can-
that
Yep.
was the point, and I think people got the point.
Yeah, totally.
For both.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to make sure that people understood. So that's the great thing about an animal
Yeah,
like that is a
it's
dog
awesome.
is its energy. It's energy, and once you understand the psychology of the species, there's no really like barrier.
Barrier.
Of
There is
communication.
no language.
The barrier there with
It's
humans
like
is
just
that-
energy.
Yeah,
Energy
the
is
barrier
the
with humans
universal.
is that we've created a verbal thing that sounds different depending on where you live. But
Yeah.
a dog's bark is going to be pretty much the same no matter where it is, and mean the same shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because they're not like advanced to the point. To me, they're more advanced, but they're not advanced to the point of like saying, "Well, now we bark like this over here." You know, like
Yeah.
3 barks equals yes. You know, like, they don't do that. It's
Yeah.
just all the same thing. It's all energy. So
Yeah.
That's why they're simple. That's why humans are so much more complicated. Think about that.
Yeah.
Really. Awesome. Thank you guys. Another
Thank
amazing
you.
one, I thought. Ask your questions in the comments. Instagram questions. Some of these questions are one that I did an Instagram story asking to ask me any questions. And we're going to make a bunch of videos on these things too. So
Yes.
again, I'm here to provide you guys with the experience, the education, the knowledge. So tell me what you want to see. That's what I'm here. I'm not, this is for you guys. So tell me.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Daniela.
Thank you for coming.
And have a good week.
Yes.
You guys have a
Stay
good
calm
week.
and confident. We will see
Bye.
you guys soon.
Peace.
Later.